Hello my friends and welcome to the channel. I felt compelled to make this video this morning for some reason because I was just sort of sitting here reflecting and feeling really grateful and feeling a sense of freedom and good health, I suppose, and reflecting back at my days that I was a prisoner of alcoholism. And as I was reflecting, I was thinking that my alcoholism fell into sort of three distinct phases, if you like. And I want to share them with you today for the simple reason that if you recognize yourself in any of these phases, if you want to call them that, then you may be able to do something about it a lot earlier than I actually did. It'll be the best thing you've ever done in your life. I promise you that. Just before I share the video with you, if you feel like you want to give the channel a little support, please just take a minute, click the link in the description, the Ko-fi link, have a quick read how you can do that. I'd be eternally grateful. Thank you so much. So from my sort of teens onwards, late teens onwards, I mean, at that stage of my life, I never really gave sort of my drinking a second thought. I just did the things that normal teenagers did, I suppose, if you like, except that if I look back on it now, I was always the one who got the drunkest and always the one who could just never have one drink, even at that early stage in my life. I remember at 17 years old, something I'm not proud of, but it gave me a lot of kudos amongst my friends at the time. I remember drinking the best part of the contents of a whole bottle of Pernod at a concert, passing out and having my stomach pumped. I mean, that's not a normal thing for a 17-year-old. However, it gave me a lot of kudos. I never really saw it as a major issue. And as I progressed into my 20s, I became really successful at what I did. I managed nightclubs, and there were big nightclubs where during the 80s, you know, it was at the time where sort of those sort of clubs were king, if you like. You know, they were really busy. It was a very hedonistic lifestyle. And I was still very young to be achieving quite a lot of success at an early age. And, you know, I partied. There was no doubt about it. However, at that stage, this is a sort of first stage, if you like, I never even gave it a second thought of it being a problem. But again, if I look back on it, I was the one who always kept the party going till the end. There was never any occasion where I could just have one drink and enjoy it. It always led on to debauchery and, you know, extreme drunkenness, stupid behavior, negative consequences, always something disastrous happening. But again, you know, it was part of that lifestyle. People joined in around me. You know, I was the party giver, if you like, and I had a lot of hangers on because I was managing these clubs, and you know, in the cities I managed them in the UK. You know, it gave me a lot of kudos, if you like, and my ego was massive. Something that's very destructive for an addict is this self-obsession and ego. You know, and I was driven by ego and self-will. I never saw it as a problem. It was just something that I did. You know, I was the king, if you like. And this progressed all throughout my 20s. And then when I reached my 30s, I sort of slowed down a little bit, if you like. Met my lovely wife. And as we progressed on, we decided to work together. And we managed pubs and hotels and big restaurants. You know, there were big businesses. And again, together, because she had a very steadying influence on the accounting and the running of the business side, and I was the sort of front of the house man, if you like, and I'd been trained in catering anyway, so it was a sort of natural for us to run it that way. And you know, time marched on. It, you know, my drinking wasn't really a problem at that stage, or I didn't see it as a problem at that stage, although I was probably drinking most days. We had the children, and there was a period after the children were born that I sort of steadied down. I even had a period of sort of sobriety for a period of time. And then things jumped again as I sort of got into my mid-30s. I suppose I became what you would call, I hate the term, but what you would call a functioning alcoholic, because my drinking escalated as the sort of pressures of life escalated, I suppose, around sort of family life, the pressures of the businesses, because they were very, very busy businesses. I started to drink in secret. And this is where drinking becomes problematic, because you become dishonest, you become a liar to the people you love most, and you're constantly trying to cover up your drinking and hide things around it. And as it progressed into my sort of late 30s, the drinking became morning drinking, and that's again, I didn't see it as a problem. I saw it as I'd heard stories of people who were sort of functioning alcoholics, or high functioning alcoholics, if you like, who ran extremely successful business or were successful in whatever field they pursued, but they were hard drinkers, and I felt that it gave me massive confidence and energy, and I was just better at what I did and more relaxed at what I did. I was just lying to myself. It was just total dishonesty with the people I loved and myself. And about this time, obviously, opiates became involved. That's a separate story, although that made everything move much more rapidly and ripped everything out of my life much more rapidly. But that functioning alcoholic stage is where you're lying to yourself, thinking it's not a problem, but you're hiding it and you're sneaking it, and you're maybe even hiding bottles, and or you're sneaking off and having an extra drink at the bar when you go out for a meal. When you're enjoying a quiet drink, with your partner or a family or friends or whatever, but you're sneaking to the bar for an extra one. There's all sorts of little signs like that. But unless you accept that you have an issue around it, I'll just carry on until you reach the final stage that I reached. And I pray that you'll never reach this stage, because, and I'm cutting bits of it out here, but it escalated at such a rapid rate then. And, by this stage, getting into my 50s, I then lost my career, separated from the family, and it took me into what I call chronic alcoholism. And that was where I wasn't drinking because I wanted to. I was drinking because I had to. Because if I didn't drink, then I would be extremely ill. And that was when drinking was constant at 24 hours. And it's not a massive jump from that functioning alcoholism onto the chronic stage, where you're just every 2 or 3 hours, if you don't drink, you're jumping, you're into sort of withdrawal, experiencing horrible withdrawal symptoms. So you're literally having to find alcohol and money just to keep you living. Well, it's not even living, existing, if you like, and that's no existence. And then it becomes very lonely, because that stage of chronic alcoholism, that's when you're drinking on your own all the time. There's no one around you. For me, it was being stuck in a dark, lonely room on my own, day in, day out. Just all I was worried about was if I had enough vodka or cheap wine, if I couldn't afford vodka, just to get me through 24 hours until I could get the next, and it would be getting down to the supermarket, finding the energy to do that, which would be a miracle, between vomiting and all the other horrific symptoms that came with it. I'm drinking sort of a litre of wine to get me back up the road home, to stop me shaking. And when it gets to that stage, you're very close to killing yourself. I don't mean committing, I'm just committing a sort of suicide by a slow death, by drinking yourself to death, because all your organs are suffering so much chronic damage at that stage, particularly your liver. And there's a video on that on the channel if you'd like to search for that. that unless you can find a way of digging yourself out of that hole, this is the most difficult stage to dig yourself out of. And it really does at this stage become a choice between, do I want to live or do I just want to carry on and just curl up in a ball and die? Because that's where it will take you as everything shuts down. Because at that stage, you've lost just about everything, not just your health, but your dignity, your self-respect, your self-care. You just don't care anymore. All you care about is drinking to stay alive, basically, until it ends. And it's a living hell, a living purgatory that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. However, as you can see from this channel, you'll find a way out of it. There's many videos on this channel that will help you out of that hole you're in. If you're in that hole at the moment, whatever stage of your, whether it's just a little problem at the moment but you're recognizing signs of it becoming, you can't just have one drink. You're always the one that finishes the party last. You're sneaking, you're hiding, you're doing all this sort of stuff, all these behaviors, and you're becoming dishonest with yourself and other people. Then you need to take a good long look at yourself before it progresses onto that last stage, that chronic stage that I've just talked about, because that is hell that you don't want to be in. So please, my friends, because the freedom that lies on the other side of it, I've found a peace and serenity and a happiness which I never dreamt of more than just 2 years ago even. So please, it's worth fighting for, and it is a fight. It's not easy, of course it isn't, but you need support, you need help, you need to ask for help. So don't be afraid to accept you've got a problem and to ask for help. That's the most bravest thing you'll ever do, is to ask for help. Carpe diem, my friends. Keep fighting, keep moving forwards. Click on the Ko-fi link if you'd like to support the channel. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.